So after I found this bug, I showed it to my friend. You know what he said? He said it's almost scary how much power it puts in your hand. You can literally send a text message to any iPhone user on iOS 10 right now. It doesn't matter if it's Obama, it doesn't matter if it's your best friend, it doesn't matter who it is, what they're doing. As soon as they receive this text on their phone will immediately hang, freeze, and crash. So a little proof of concept for you right here before we get into the video. I have a simple 3-character text message right here that I will go ahead and send to my iPhone that is perfectly working. As you guys can see, nothing wrong. No trickery here, nothing. So send the message. As soon as this guy receives it, boom, it's dead. Literally, home button won't work, power button won't work, nothing will work because your phone has now froze and is going to crash in just a little bit because of this bug. It is just absolutely crazy. And we actually, with my friend who is quite demented, we sent this in a group chat to a bunch of people. Just a couple of the responses we got. I'm gonna kill you. You froze my phone. You broke my phone. It's not working. And it's just insane how fast it works, how reliably it works, and does it like every single time. And the worst part is you don't even need to interact with the message. You don't need to open anything. You don't need to play or watch a video. As soon as it hits your phone, it's affected. And it's so scary because it's just unprecedented to be able to do this right now in iOS 10. There was a bug back on iOS 8 called effective power. You receive a text message, it restarts your phone. This is worse. You receive a message, it freezes your phone for like 3 to 5 minutes and then restarts on its own. But depending on which firmware you're on, you're going to get a little bit of a different behavior, and I'll talk about that. There's a lot to know. But what you guys need to know is that this is scary. Should you do it on a friend? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on how cruel you guys are. It will freeze and crash their phone. If you guys want to do that to your friend, sure. But this is not that great of a prank. I mean, it might be. Depends on your humor taste. But all right, let's go ahead and get into this. I just want to show you guys a little demo. I did manage to get this working on all these devices, literally with a 3 emoji text, 3 little characters, and send it to these guys, and boom, they crash almost immediately. I mean, immediately as soon as they receive it. So you're unable to do anything. They'll just freeze in suspended animation, and that's it. Now this works this way on 10.1.1 and below. If you guys are on iOS 10.2, it's going to behave a little bit differently. And again, I will show you guys the differences there. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you guys how to crash anybody's phone. So I'm going to show you guys 2 methods. The first, which works on iOS 10 through 10.1.1, is the simplest and easiest way to do this. The second works on iOS 10.2, even the latest 10.2.1 firmware, and all the way down to iOS 10. However, it's just a little bit of a different method. Both have their own benefits, which I'll slightly mention as we're doing them. So first off, I want to show you guys, I am on iOS 10.1.1. Now the text you guys are going to receive using this method looks just like this. It's a white flag, a 0, and a rainbow. If you try to copy it, I mean, you just won't be able to send it. You can try and send it back to the person, but you won't be able to. As soon as you paste the text in, anything will crash. It's kind of funny. Literally, you can put this text into anything and it will crash that area. Any app, anything. If you put it into here on your Spotlight search, it resprings your device. This text is like poison for the iPhone. Now, essentially, how this works, how it was described to me, I actually got this in a tip in my email by Preston. So basically, looking at this text right here, iOS is trying to make a rainbow flag using this text. It's trying to combine all of these emojis into one, but it cannot, and it fails. That's in a nutshell what he explained to me how it works, because the rainbow flag emoji is consisted of 3 layers. So just like this, it's basically trying to make a rainbow flag, but it just cannot compile it together. In a nutshell, that's how it works. So you can't resend the text to anyone. If you try and repaste it, it'll crash. How do you get this out to somebody? Well, you guys are going to visit this website right here. So in this little area right here, you guys are going to Command A or Control A and copy all of this text on your computer. I mean, this method requires a computer. The next one doesn't. But you guys want to go to iCloud.com and sign in and go into your notes page. If you try and paste this in the notes on Map, it will crash. So don't do that. Do it online in iCloud Notes. So paste it and press return. You must press enter. Don't leave the text right here or the cursor. Make sure it's down here. and go ahead and save. Now, if you guys didn't leave a return, you won't be able to open it. It'll just crash. Make sure the cursor is below it. And once it refreshes, you guys can now go inside of it with that enter below it. All right, so from in here, basically go ahead and message and select a target. Now, again, this won't work on everybody just because you do have to be on 10.1.1 for it to work. But if you are on 10.1.1, it's much easier to do. You just send this text, and this guy's phone is immediately frozen. So there's the first method. It's a little tedious. You have to have a computer to do it. But how do you do this on the newer firmwares? I actually found this method. This was my creation. Basically, I took these emojis and I multiplied them by 1,000, by 5,000 in a contact attachment. So basically, we're going to be sending a contact with a bunch of these emojis inside of it. And as soon as the iPhone receives it, it tries to read all of those emojis and it just fails. Now, you don't have to open anything. You don't have to interact with the phone in any way to get it to work, which is the best part. So let me show you how to go ahead and do the second method on all firmwares. I just want to show you guys the first method does not work from the lock screen. If you do receive it, nothing will happen. You have to actually be in the iPhone. But the second method I'm going to show you does work on the lock screen. It works anywhere, which is crazy. All right, and here is the second method. This works on iOS 10 to iOS 10.2.1. This is probably the version everybody's going to be doing just because it works across all firmwares. It's a little bit more destructive and it takes a little bit longer, but it can be done without a computer. Also, this does not work on iOS 9 or below, just because iOS doesn't have the emojis on those firmwares in order to understand what to do. So it just won't do anything at all. Okay, so basically, the very first thing you guys want to do is go into App Store and download iCloud Drive if you don't have it already. Now, you can send this bug from any firmware. It doesn't matter if you're on iOS 9 or any old firmware. It doesn't even matter if you're on Android. You can send this from Android, believe it or not. You don't even need to do this iCloud Drive part. Okay, so with that installed, go ahead and navigate to the link down below, preston159.com. And basically, this bottom part right here is the portion that I found, the bug for iOS 10.3. And you're going to want to download this contact file. So click on this link. Don't worry, it won't crash your phone or anything. And select more. No, shoot, I clicked the wrong thing. You don't want to open it in contact. Go ahead and click more right here and add to iCloud Drive. Okay, so click iCloud Drive. And now you have this file preloaded in your iCloud Drive. So you'll notice it looks a little bit funny, especially if you're on iOS 10.1.1 like I am. Just go ahead and hold it and click share. And click message. It's as simple as that. So you guys will get this white pop-up just like that, and nothing will happen for a few seconds. So that's okay. Just give it a minute. It takes a while. This is a little bit more time consuming, but it works all the time. I guarantee it. Also, I did want to mention, sometimes when you click message, nothing will happen. So you have to redo it like up to 5 times on occasion. Sometimes it works right away. But eventually you'll get this white pop-up. All right, so finally loaded. It doesn't take that long, just a little bit of patience. I know some of you guys are going to be doing this as a prank, so you will probably be doing this on repeat. You'll get the hang of it. But anyways, go ahead and put in your recipient. So I did go ahead and do that. And I'm going to set this right here as soon as I send it because I want to show you guys that this does work on both 10.2.1 and 10.2. Okay, so basically send it. And in a second here, these phones will receive it. So right now you can tell they are on 10.2.1 and 10.2 working perfectly. You're doing your basic thing, just minding your own business, when out of nowhere your friend sends you that malicious text. So the only thing is with this method, it takes a good 30 seconds after your phone receives it for it to work. Basically, this one just received it and this one did too. And immediately your phones are frozen. Literally, no text pop-up, nothing. You don't need to click on anything. You're just done. Your home buttons are clickable, but will not work. Power buttons are clickable, but will not work. So you have 2 choices at this point. Wait it out, which it will reset itself, or go ahead and restart your phone. It is absolutely annoying, trust me. My friend started sending this to me after I sent it to him, and it was beyond frustrating because you're trying to do something and he just keeps sending it. Especially if you're on Android, you can send it unlimited amount of times. It's really, really annoying. So it will eventually clear up and start working again, but your messages are not going to be able to work. Sometimes they stop working. It's really annoying. It's really unpredictable. And you can keep sending it over and over. Now, it does crash sometimes too on 10.2 and 10.2.1, I can confirm that. Sometimes it powers through it, but either way, it does freeze and hang for a good minute, 2 minutes, even 3 minutes sometimes. Yeah, it's pretty damn annoying. So there you go. So you can keep resending it. I'm going to send it once more. And the bigger the file is, the longer the phone hangs, and the more likely it is to crash on these newer firmwares. And once more as a proof of concept on 10.2 and 10.2.1. So while this is loading, I wanted to say this does work from SMS. So if you don't have iMessage, it'll still work. Just send it to the contact. And if you send it to Android phones, it slows them down, but they don't stop working like the iPhones do. It certainly does affect them in some ways. I can tell you that for sure. They become almost unusable in the Messages app. They just get really, really slow. So there we go. Look at that. Freaking froze as I was swiping the page. But yeah, it does make your life miserable for anyone that you send this to. It's easily fixable, which is the best part. It doesn't really break anything, but there is one side effect sometimes that does happen once in a blue moon. So sometimes the Messages app goes blank and stops working completely. You restart the phone, it doesn't work. The good news is it's very, very easy to fix. So I'll leave you guys with a link just in case that happens at vinchades3.com, just like this. So it'll load this page, and then you'll go ahead and select open, and it will save your Messages app. Then exit out of it and delete the contact that froze your phone, just like that. Easy stuff. And the very last thing I wanted to leave you guys with is how to prevent it from happening. So if you guys keep getting someone sending it to you, it's very easy to make it stop. All you guys need to do is go into the messages and block their number. Click on the the contact info, and just select block this caller. It's as easy as that. So guys, there it is, the absolutely mental bug, how to make any iPhone crash on command using a text message. So it'll freeze and hang your device on the newest version of iOS 10.2.1. That is just incredible. I mean, if anyone can find a more scientific explanation, I would love to know that. Leave it down below. But thanks so much for watching. Use responsibly, guys. Peace. Oh, who am I kidding? I sent this to like a bunch of people right away. It's just too funny not to send.